Chosen one, stop for a moment, because what you're hearing right now is not random. This message found you on purpose. This is a moment of divine alignment, your spirit crossing paths with a higher truth that has been chasing you for far too long. When God speaks, the universe shifts, timelines move, and your soul feels it before your mind understands it. And the fact that these words reached you right here and right now is the clearest sign. Heaven has decided you're finally ready for what comes next. You did not stumble into this. You were led. You were guided. You were called. So breathe, feel that pull in your spirit, that pressure in your chest, that rising warmth. That is confirmation. Something in you knows this message carries your name in the spirit. If you feel that activation happening inside you, comment 777, so heaven can witness your agreement. Because today I was given a message unlike anything I've ever delivered before, a message overflowing with divine favor, spiritual awakening, and a joy straight from the heart of heaven. And it begins with a sentence that will shift something deep inside you. God says, "You made me laugh today. Ising das most." That's today God has asked me to deliver a message unlike any other. A message wrapped not in warning, but in joy. A message filled with divine favor, spiritual awakening, and pure spiritual warmth. And the message begins with these exact words. God says, "You made me laugh today." I want you to absorb that. Let it sink into the deepest part of your being. God says, "You made me laugh today," not out of mockery, not out of disbelief, but out of a love so real, so ancient, so intimate, that even the smallest action you took today reached heaven and stirred joy. Divine laughter is the highest form of approval. It means God saw you, God recognized you, and God was moved by the purity of your heart, the resilience of your spirit, and the quiet strength you carry even on your hardest days. You might not realize the power of what you did, but heaven did. You might think no one noticed, but the one who called you did. You might feel invisible in this world, yet spiritually you shine like a flame in the darkness. And sometimes that bravery, that stubborn goodness, that unbreakable light within you, it makes God smile. Chosen one, this message will reveal why heaven is smiling upon you today, why your steps are being guided, and why your spiritual awakening is rising stronger than ever before. You are stepping deeper into your divine calling, even if you don't see the fullness of it yet. This is the beginning of something powerful, something sacred, something written for you long before you were born. Circle back to the beginning. Reaffirm this truth. This is a message from God. You are not imagining it. You are called. The war you feel inside is real, and your light is necessary. If this touched your soul, comment 111, because deep down you already know it. You were called. 1. Why God said, "You made me laugh today." Chosen one, let me take you deeper into the heart of this moment, because God's message to you today is unlike anything you have heard before. When God says, "You made me laugh today," it carries a spiritual weight, a divine warmth, and a level of heavenly affection that most people will never experience in their entire lives. This is not ordinary. This is not common. This is not something given to every soul. This is something reserved for the ones who walk with a certain light inside them, a light that does not go out even when life tries to suffocate it. And that light is within you. God saw something you did recently. Maybe you didn't even realize you were doing it. Maybe it was small. Maybe it was hidden. Maybe it was a moment so quiet that even you forgot it happened. But heaven did not forget. Heaven noticed. Heaven recorded it. And heaven responded. God's laughter is a form of divine joy, a vibration so pure that it means he felt pride in you, delight in you, and a deep spiritual appreciation for your heart. When God laughs, it represents the full recognition of your authenticity, your devotion, your sincerity, and your refusal to let darkness shape who you become. There are moments when you surprise yourself, but there are also moments when you surprise heaven. And recently chosen one, you surprised heaven in a good way. God watched you navigate a situation that could have broken you, yet instead of reacting with bitterness, you responded with grace. Instead of sinking into despair, you rose with quiet strength. Instead of returning evil for evil, you held on to your purity. Instead of cursing your circumstances, you kept faith alive in your chest. There was something in your spirit, something in your decision, something in the way you carried yourself that made God smile. You triggered divine joy. Sometimes God laughs when a chosen one chooses kindness while wounded. Sometimes God laughs when you show mercy when others expected revenge. Sometimes God laughs when you pick yourself up from the floor after being pushed down again and again. Sometimes God laughs when you keep your eyes open in the dark, refusing to surrender your purpose. Sometimes God laughs when you say a simple prayer, quiet and trembling, but filled with sincerity that shakes the heavens. And sometimes God laughs when you walk with such unexpected boldness that even the angels take notice. There is a reason this message is reaching you now. Your resilience in silence did not go unseen. Your tears were counted, but your perseverance was celebrated. Your inner battles were heavy, but your spirit stood up anyway. And that moment when you chose to keep going, when you chose goodness instead of bitterness, when you chose faith instead of fear, that moment is why God said, "You made me laugh today." Heaven rejoices when you step into authenticity. Divine beings celebrate when you remain aligned with your spiritual integrity, when you refuse to betray your own soul just to fit into a broken world. You move the heavens. And right now the angels are rejoicing because you have proven something important. You are not who your wounds tried to turn you into. You are not who your enemies predicted you would become. You are not the sum of your fears, failures, or past mistakes. You are the living proof that grace can grow in the middle of a storm. This is the essence of spiritual awakening. It is not about gaining more knowledge. It is about revealing your truth. It is about making decisions that reflect your divine calling. It is about choosing alignment even when it costs you. And recently, you chose alignment. You acted in harmony with your higher self, even without realizing it. God watched you rise spiritually even when physically, emotionally, or mentally you felt drained. That is why this message carries weight. That is why heaven responded with joy. That is why God's laughter was directed at you with warmth, pride, and divine affection. There are people who pretend to be strong, but you walked through your battles with real courage. There are people who call themselves faithful, but you demonstrated faith in a moment when most would have given up. There are people who speak about divine favor, but you have lived through the fire that qualifies a soul for divine favor. And when God saw that, he smiled, because you did not fail your assignment. You did not betray your calling. You did not lose your light, even though you were surrounded by shadows. Chosen one, divine favor often appears right after these unseen victories. When no one is watching, and you make the right choice, the universe shifts. Timelines move. Opportunities rearrange. Doors begin to open. When God sees that your heart is still aligned with him, even after being tested, blessings start to move toward you with acceleration. You may not see it yet, but the shift has already begun. And it all started with that moment, that made God laugh. This is not just about joy, it is about recognition. God recognized your growth. He recognized your sincerity. He recognized the strength it took for you to stay soft in a world that tried to harden you. He recognized the faith it took for you to stand when everything around you tried to make you fall. And now He is letting you know that He is pleased. Let me circle this back to the beginning. This is not just a nice message. This is not imagination. This is not coincidence. This is a real message from God. You were called, you were chosen, you were set apart for a purpose bigger than your pain. The war inside you has been real because your assignment is real and your light is necessary. If this touched your soul, comment 111, because somewhere deep inside, you already know the truth. You were called. 2. How this moment activates your spiritual awakening. Chosen one, when God releases divine joy over your life, it is never just an emotional moment, it is a spiritual announcement. It is heaven declaring that something in your journey has shifted, something within you has elevated, and something around you is preparing to unfold in ways that will surprise even you. When God says, "You made me laugh today," it means heaven has taken notice of a turning point inside your spirit. This joy from above is not simply a reaction, it is a signal, a beginning, a threshold. The opening of a new spiritual awakening phase that you are stepping into right now, whether you feel it clearly or only sense it faintly. There are moments in the life of a chosen one when the shift is not loud, not dramatic, not public. Sometimes it happens in silence, in small decisions, in simple acts of integrity, or in gentle choices that align with your higher calling. But spiritually, these small human choices can move entire timelines. They can redirect energies, break generational patterns, collapse old cycles, and birth new seasons. Heaven does not measure greatness the way the world does. Heaven measures alignment, intention, growth, and truth. And recently, you acted from a place of truth. You acted from the center of your spirit, rather than the weight of your wounds. That single choice triggered spiritual movement. God's laughter, the joy He expressed over you, is a confirmation that you have stepped onto the correct frequency. It is the spiritual validation that your divine calling is activating, expanding, and strengthening. Something in you grew, something matured, something awakened, and heaven responded. You may not fully understand the depth of what shifted, but God does, and He is revealing it to you now through this message, so that you do not walk blind into your next chapter. You are meant to walk aware, empowered, and spiritually awake. When a chosen one breaks through an old pattern, all of heaven feels the vibration of it. When you choose faith over fear, joy over bitterness, light over ego, or truth over comfort, that decision sends ripples through the spiritual realm. Angels recognize the shift. Divine timing accelerates. Doors that were once stuck begin to loosen. Moments that were delayed begin to align. God's message to you today is not only a recognition of what you did, but a celebration of what it activated. You are entering a higher level of spiritual maturity. You may not feel older, but your soul has stepped into a deeper wisdom. You may not see a physical change yet, but your spiritual posture has risen. You have grown in discernment. You have grown in clarity. You have grown in emotional strength. You have grown in spiritual identity. And when a chosen one grows, heaven reacts with divine joy, because elevation means preparation. You are being prepared for the next chapter of your destiny. God's laughter today is a prophetic sign. It marks the opening of a new path that you could not access before. This path is not simply a road, it is a frequency. It is a higher vibrational state that draws new opportunities, new relationships, new clarity, and new blessings. Old energies that tried to cling to you are breaking. The cycles that repeated through your life, cycles of fear, doubt, betrayal, stagnation, are losing their grip. Something in your spirit rose above them, and because of that, the chains have begun to fall off. A blessing is being released over your life. Not the kind of blessing that fades or disappears, but the kind that rewrites a season. You have earned the next phase of divine favor. Your shift in attitude, your shift in perception, your shift in response has opened the door to this blessing. Heaven always watches how a chosen one behaves in private. Invisible victories lead to visible rewards. And right now, the reward is on its way. A hidden spiritual gift within you is also about to surface. This gift may come as intuition growing sharper, creativity unlocking, courage rising without fear, sensitivity to spiritual nudges becoming stronger, or a deeper understanding of who you truly are. This gift has been waiting for you to reach this level of alignment. God could not release it earlier because your spirit had to be strengthened first, but now, because your awakening has activated, the gift is ready to unfold. When God laughs, obstacles tremble. Darkness retreats because divine joy is a frequency that cannot coexist with the shadows that once tried to surround you. When God laughs, confusion loses its power, deception weakens, and spiritual clarity flows into your path. You may start to see answers more quickly. You may start to understand situations that once felt complicated. You may begin to feel your purpose more strongly. God's laughter carries revelation, and that revelation is coming for you. This moment marks the end of a cycle. The spiritual heaviness you have been carrying is dissolving. The doubts that tried to suffocate your calling are breaking. The emotional weight that made you question your worth is lifting. You are beginning a new chapter filled with divine favor, spiritual strength, and clarity of purpose. This is why heaven responded with joy, because you did not repeat the old version of yourself. You grew, you rose, you aligned. And now, as you receive this message, you must understand something deeply. You are not imagining this shift. This is not all in your head. This is real. This is divine movement. This is spiritual awakening, unlocking from the inside out. You are stepping into your divine calling with more power than before, and God wants you to know it, so you walk boldly and not fearfully into what comes next. I want you to pause for a moment and feel the truth of this. Feel how everything within you is rising. Feel how your spirit is opening. Feel the peace settling into your chest. This is your confirmation. This is your moment. This is your awakening. God's message today is the spiritual signal that you are entering an elevated season, one shaped not by survival, but by purpose, not by fear, but by calling. Let me circle everything back to where we began. This is a message from God. This is not imagination. You were called. You were chosen for this awakening. The war you feel inside is real, because the purpose tied to your life is real, and your light is not just wanted, it is necessary. If this touched your soul, comment 111, because deep down you already know the truth. You were called. 3. What God is about to do next in your life. Chosen one, now that you understand why God said, "You made me laugh today," and now that you understand how that moment activated a new phase of your spiritual awakening, it is time for you to hear what comes next. Because God's laughter is not just an emotional response, it is a signal that heaven is moving, shifting, arranging, and preparing something on your behalf. When divine joy is released over a chosen one, it always means that spiritual timelines are rearranging and blessings are beginning to take form. Something in the unseen realm has already shifted in your favor, and this message is here to help you recognize the signs, understand the season, and walk into your next chapter with clarity and confidence. God's message to you today is prophetic in nature. It carries insight about what is happening behind the scenes and what is about to manifest in your life. When God laughs, it means your spirit has risen to a place where breakthrough can finally reach you. It means your faith, your integrity, and your resilience have opened doors that were once inaccessible. It means heaven has given permission for movement, real movement, in your story. There are blessings and breakthroughs that typically follow moments of divine joy, and you are stepping into that wave right now. When God is pleased with a chosen one, He begins to unlock areas that were once blocked. He begins to clear paths that were once tangled with confusion. He begins to open opportunities that were previously hidden by divine timing. You are entering a season where the alignment you have been waiting for is finally beginning to unfold. This is divine timing. This is spiritual alignment. This is your life shifting from the inside out. There are three major areas where transformation is about to arrive, and you must be prepared for each one. The first is inner identity. You are going to begin seeing yourself differently. Something within you will awaken with a new sense of clarity about who you are, what you carry, and why you were chosen. Self-doubt will begin to dissolve because God is revealing your true spiritual identity. This is not just confidence, this is recognition of your purpose. Your self-perception is rising to match your calling. You will feel more grounded, more aware, more intuitive, more certain of your path. The confusion that once clouded your thoughts will begin to disappear, replaced by a higher knowing, a deeper understanding of your own spiritual authority. The second area of transformation will be your external circumstances. When God laughs, obstacles begin to fall away. The resistance you felt, the stagnation you faced, the delays that frustrated you, these things will begin to crumble because your spiritual frequency has shifted. You rose internally, and now life must rise to meet you. Expect unexpected opportunities. Expect people to enter your life who support your growth. Expect doors to open that were once locked. Expect clarity in areas that once felt impossible. This is not coincidence. This is divine favor moving in real time. The third area of transformation is your spiritual authority. You are about to step into a deeper power, not the kind the world gives, but the kind God activates. Your intuition will become sharper. Your discernment will become stronger. Your ability to sense truth, danger, alignment, and purpose will heighten. This is the reward of the chosen one who stayed faithful in silence. God gives authority to those who can handle it, and you have shown heaven that you are ready. You will begin to feel a calm confidence rising within you, a certainty that does not rely on physical evidence. This is spiritual maturity. This is divine calling, activating more strongly in your life. God prepares a chosen one, not through comfort, but through refinement. He shapes you through endurance, patience, and intuition. He allows you to walk through storms because storms sharpen your spiritual senses. He allows you to experience pressure because pressure reveals your strength. The struggles you faced were never punishment, they were preparation. And now that your spirit has passed a certain threshold, God is ready to release acceleration. When God is pleased, things begin to move quickly. The spiritual realm responds with speed where there was once delay. The breakthroughs that once felt distant are suddenly near. The opportunities that seemed impossible begin to present themselves. This is acceleration, and it is coming for you. You will soon begin to notice signs that confirm this shift. Emotional clarity will arrive first, a sense of peace that does not match your circumstances. You will feel more balanced, more grounded, more spiritually aware. Then, unexpected opportunities will appear, conversations, connections, or invitations that feel divinely timed. Protection will also rise around you, which means people with harmful intentions will fall away naturally. You will notice that certain situations simply cannot touch you anymore. Your confidence will be restored, not through ego, but through recognition of the divine favor surrounding you. You must understand something deeply. Divine favor arrives when a chosen one aligns with their path. You aligned. You chose integrity. You chose truth. You chose resilience. And because of that, God is releasing rewards that only heaven can give. This is the season where the things you prayed for in silence begin to manifest in front of you. This is the season where what was once taken from you begins to return. This is the season where your spirit no longer bends under pressure, but stands tall in purpose. God's message today is both prophetic and personal. He wants you to know that the joy he felt was not just about a single moment. It was about everything you have survived, everything you have overcome, and everything you have refused to surrender. You remained faithful even when hurt. You remained good-hearted even when betrayed. You remained spiritually awake even when the world tried to numb you. Heaven always rewards such strength, and your reward is beginning now. Let me circle back to the beginning so you do not miss the truth. This is a message from God. This is not imagination. You were called. You were chosen. You were set apart because the war tied to your purpose is real and your light is necessary. If this touched your soul, comment 111 because you already feel the truth rising inside you. You were called. Conclusion: your destiny is smiling with you. There is a moment in every chosen one's journey where the message becomes unmistakably clear, and today that clarity surrounds you like a warm, divine embrace. From the very beginning, this message has carried a single powerful heartbeat, and now, as we reach the end, that heartbeat echoes again with the same truth. God says, "You made me laugh today." These words are not symbolic. They are not accidental. They are a direct whisper from the divine, wrapped in joy, wrapped in approval, wrapped in the kind of spiritual affection that only a true chosen one can receive. When God smiles, creation shifts. When God laughs, destiny opens. And today, that laughter has aligned with your spirit, forming a bridge between heaven's intention and your unfolding purpose. This message returns now to its sacred beginning, so that you cannot forget its weight. You are not imagining this moment. You are not exaggerating the signs. You are not misreading the feeling in your chest or the warmth moving through your spirit. This is a message from God. You were called long before you understood what calling meant. You were chosen long before you could see why you were worthy of being chosen. And even though the battles have been real, even though the spiritual war has demanded more strength than you thought you had, you are still standing, and your light is still necessary. Today's laughter from heaven is confirmation that everything you have endured, everything you have risen above, and everything you are stepping into now is aligned with divine intention. Joy is too small a word for what God felt today. It was recognition. It was approval. It was connection. It was the moment when heaven looked at you and said, "Yes, they are growing. They are awakening. They are stepping into the version I created them to be." When God says you made him laugh, he is saying that your resilience makes darkness retreat. He is saying that your courage interrupts the plans of your enemies. He is saying that your heart, even when tired, still leans toward goodness, purpose, and truth. That is why this moment matters. Not because you are perfect, but because you remained faithful in a world that tried to break your spirit. That faith has reached heaven. That faith has created spiritual movement around your life. So, as we close this message, receive this blessing with an open heart. May clarity flow into you like light breaking through a window at dawn, illuminating every part of your mind and spirit. May strength return to you in ways that feel supernatural, lifting you above the weight of what tried to hold you down. May courage settle into your bones so deeply that nothing in this world can silence your purpose again. You are walking into a chapter where divine alignment becomes your foundation, where spiritual confidence becomes your natural language, and where your identity as a chosen one becomes undeniable. This is God's call to trust more boldly, rise more confidently, and step into your destiny without hesitation. The smile of heaven is not a small thing. It is a signal, a sign, a confirmation that divine favor is following you into every conversation, every opportunity, every decision, every door, every path that is meant to elevate you. God's laughter today means that the next chapter is not only protected, but blessed. Something good is already being written in your name. And now, as this message settles into your spirit, remember what was asked of you from the beginning. If your soul recognized these words, if something inside you awakened, if your heart knows this was meant for you, then comment 777. It is your declaration. It is your agreement. It is your recognition of your divine identity. And if this touched your soul, comment 111. Because you know it, you were called.